Welcome to Module 5. Module 5 is about sharing and collaborating. So far we've done some practice with our skills. We've looked at 21st century learning. Then in Module 3 we started our digital literacy skills and looked at locating and filtering. Last module we looked at organizing and curating, and in this module we're going to look at sharing and collaborating. So I'm going to click on the link to the module, and you'll see that this part of the module we're going to be looking at copyright and fair use. So this is the online portion. So if we just want to go ahead and go to the next page, we can dive right into copyright. I have you start by looking at the following reflection questions. So read over those carefully and have those in mind as you go through each one of the sections in this module. The next part is some information on copyright. So I want you to please read this. It's important to understand copyright and kind of copyright, how it is defined, and how we talk about copyright in terms of intellectual property and those kinds of things. The next section here is a little bit of information about how copyright can be kind of messy. So first start by watching this video, then check out these two websites, and finally click on this link here and listen to the recent story about copyright and the Happy Birthday song. Next, you're going to look at some more information about copyright and longevity, so what things are protected and for how long. After that, we're going to take a look at fair use. Sometimes copyright and fair use kind of gets mixed together, but they are actually two different things. They do work in tandem, but the copyright and fair use are definitely two things that you need to make sure that you understand well. Then on this page there's some information, kind of a little video that brings copyright and fair use together. There's this video down here. This one's pretty fun. It's long. You do not have to watch the whole thing, but watch it long enough to kind of get the gist of what they're doing and kind of the creative way that they pull fair use and copyright together. Then you're going to take a look at Creative Commons. This is a site that's really important for you guys to understand and to know what is available to you, because as educators we often need to use lots of materials. It's, you know, we don't have the time or necessarily the ability to always start from scratch and build everything from scratch. And as educators, we do a lot of borrowing and repurposing, which is fine, but again, we have to do it within the context of what it means to be following copyright guidelines, and particularly fair use guidelines. Creative Commons is a really interesting website that brings people together who would like to share, and they've created a method of kind of designating how things can be shared, where everybody gets credit but everybody gets to use different things. Next, there is a infographic, and remember that your signature assignment will be using and creating an infographic. So the more you get used to looking at and working with infographics, the better. So I want you to take a look at this infographic on copyright, and then notice that you have a required reflective journal article or post related to this infographic. Please make sure that when you're doing your required posts that you actually title your journal entries the way I've asked you to. It just makes it a lot easier for me to grade, and I make sure that you're getting full credit for the work that you're doing. There's some more resources here on copyright, fair use, and Those kinds of information, I would definitely explore these. This is if you click on here, this will take you to a Google slide presentation that shows you a bunch of different ways that you can use and access images and other things that are legitimate for us to use under fair use and copyright. Then you have a discussion. You need to do your first post by October 26th and respond to at least 3 others by the 1st of November. And the question is, why is it important for teachers and students to know about copyright and fair use, and how to apply that knowledge to creating, sharing, and collaborating on projects both inside and outside of the classroom. So after you've gone through all the materials, think about why it's really important for us as educators to not only follow those guidelines, but help our students follow those guidelines as well. And then the last piece is application of learning. So in our last module, you created a Storify project, and hopefully you put some images in there. What you need to do is go back to your Storify project, and you're going to edit it, and you're going to make sure that you have at least 5 different images in there that you've pulled. And then I want you to make sure that you cite those correctly, meaning you give the attribution to the person whose image or whose image that you used. And if you click right here under Best Practices for Attribution, it gives you an example of how to correctly attribute an image within your Storify project. Well, an image at all, but you can use that in your Storify. So you can add just another little text box and give the correct attribution. Once you've modified your Storify project, go back to the discussion under My Story, find your original post, click Reply, and repost the URL to your updated Storify. The URL probably isn't going to change, but that just indicates to me that you've made a modification so that I can go in and give you the proper grade. So hopefully this all makes sense. It is really important to understand copyright and fair use. So take some time this week to look over the materials. And again, if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.